Cheers, everyone. Welcome to one of these kind of like self-indulgent, kind of like comparison videos. And the two beers I'm going to do in this one are both double IPAs. And we've got a BrewDog one and a Vocation one. Now, the BrewDog one, this beer means quite a bit to me because this beer, for me, was the first double IPA I had from the supermarket. And it was it was basically brewed and distributed under Tesco's Finest, going back a good few years ago. And it was kind of, I think they called it the American IPA. And it was really the first proper double IPA I ever had. And I loved it. It blew my mind, the first time you have a double IPA, at that time, it really set a benchmark, quite high. Because before that, all we had was kind of like more or less ales on the shelves. You had your Sharps, you had your St. Austell, you had, other stuff. And which was, Black Sheep, Theakston's, they were all on the shelves and they were all perfectly okay. Of course they were. But this kind of like Tesco Finest American IPA kind of like really pushed the boundaries for me and it blew my mind. Hence, BrewDog, I think, took the recipe and converted it into their own beer, which they ended up calling it Mr.President. So there you go. That's a double IPA from them. And that is in at 9.2. I haven't had this for years. Really haven't. And we're going to compare that with a double IPA, which I don't think is available anymore in Tesco's, but I've had it hanging around. It's still in date. Yeah, totally in date still. So, and it's a Vocation collab with Sure Shot, and it is a 50-mile round trip. And that's double IPA. That's clocking in at 8%. So, strong beers, same style. Let's give it a whirl. So, let's get the BrewDog. I'm not going to really go into the BrewDog stuff at the moment, to be honest. I'll just kind of like concentrate on the beer itself. There's a crown. There you go. Aroma. Not much. Slight fruity aroma, but you're not picking up much. Okay? So let's get the Vocation. The Vocation, of course, staple in Tesco shops for a good couple of years now. So get the aroma. Yeah, you're getting more aroma from the Vocation. You're getting more of a dank feel, more fruity feel from the Vocation. So, aroma, where aromas are concerned, the Vocation is 1-0 up. Okay? So let's pour out the BrewDog. There we go. Thin in head. Must admit, it does look nice. It does. There we go. So it's the BrewDog. As you can see, lovely looking beer. Coppery colour. 2.5 fingers worth of spacious head. It looks really, really good. So let's pour out the Vocation. Totally different colour. Quite hazy. There we go. So, even though they are regarded under the same style, you can see totally different colours, as you can see. So, stick that over there. As you can see, totally different colours. Could be further apart, could they? So, let's get the aroma. Yeah, nugget, caramel. Slight hoppy presence in the aroma. Smells pretty decent. So let's get the aroma of the Vocation. Yeah, it's more fruity. There's a slight dank feel to it. It does feel like what we perceive these days as a double IPA. And it just goes to show that even though these beers are under the same category, if you want to call it that, totally different in appearance, aren't they? Totally different. So, best thing to do is take a drink, take a taste. So this is the BrewDog. Is it as good as what I remember it as? I would say that the recipe might have changed. What blew my mind back then, back in the day, I think it must have been the second year of this channel. I think it was. And what blew my mind was them fruit notes. And the fruit notes and the actual non-presence of alcohol, because I don't think it's changed its ABV since then either. And I have to say, it's more maltier this time round for me. It's still, okay. It's still, I keep saying I shouldn't say that. It's it's still drinkable for its ABV. I mean, I have been very, very critical of BrewDog over the years, and I don't think that'll ever go away unless they start to change their approach into mass brewing, into quality beer more. Then I can't see myself changing my attitude towards them in a way. But as on standalone beer on its own, 9.2, you do get the ABV, of course you will, but it's still relatively tasty stuff. So let's go to the Vocation. This feels like a modern day beer. This feels like a beer to suit the new generation of beer drinkers more than that one. It just does. And yeah, it's bitter, fruit notes. You get a lovely layer of malt on the back end, and it is, really, really nice. When I have collaboration beers, I sometimes wonder who brings what to the table, out of the two breweries, who does what and who brings what, and it's very hard to kind of distinguish that when you have a beer because, let's face it, a lot of beers do taste very, very similar. So when you get a collaboration within a certain style between two breweries, it just makes me think, well, who does what, But overall, as a beer, this is very, very nice. So 2 beers, 2 double IPAs, one stronger than the other. Which do I prefer out of the 2? And I have to say, both of them I really enjoyed. I've had them in the past, I've had the Vocation in the past on numerous occasions. Not so much the BrewDog, of course. So, the Vocation is a notch lower in ABV. And I think that works better for the beer itself. Gives it more drinkability. The BrewDog is a little bit more syrupy in a way, but it's still pretty pleasant. For a BrewDog beer, it's pleasant, and that is, pretty good going for a BrewDog beer in this day and age, isn't it? So if I had to choose between the 2, which one would I prefer? And I have to say, out of the two, the modern, more accessible double IPA over the more old school BrewDog IPA, I have to say I prefer out of the two, and this is how far beer culture's kind of like come over the years. I have to say I prefer the Vocation, and it's no diss in the BrewDog because I still would drink the BrewDog, but I prefer the Vocation, a notch down in the ABV, a little bit more drinkability, and I have to say, yeah, for me, it's the better beer for me. So there you go. End of another, comparison. Two beers, two strong beers, both okay. But I prefer that one. See all of you again on another beer review. In the meantime, take it easy, look after yourselves and all that jazz. Cheers.